The fastball value plummeted by 2 points in a single season, 16.2. That isn't a slump, that is an emergency. And yet, this is the very pitcher the Samsung Lions absolutely must rely on for a championship push.
We are 57 days away from the season opener, and today we look at the man who wears the number 57, Seung-hyun. If you read the comments section right now, you'd see nothing but demands for him to give up baseball and enlist in the military.
Fans are done. The high expectations that followed his promising 2024 debut as a starter have evaporated after a disastrous 2025 campaign. But here is the critical point. Seung-hyun is only in his second year of professional seniority.
He is young, and judging his career trajectory based on a single tumultuous season is short-sighted, bordering on negligent. We need patience, but more importantly, we need to understand exactly what broke down and why.
Let's first define the pitcher that captivated us in 2024. Seung-hyun, in one sentence, is an enigma defined by a tricky delivery that amplifies the effectiveness of both his fastball and his breaking balls.
His signature is that extremely high arm angle, a difficult slot for hitters to track, which creates a steep downward plane. He pairs this high-angle delivery with a specific pitching blueprint: high fastballs and low breaking balls. This approach relies entirely on the quality of those two pitches working in tandem. In 2024, his arsenal was potent. His pitch usage broke down like this: four-seam fastball at 9%, slider at 5%, and curveball at 9%. He would use the low breaking balls to establish the count and then attack up in the zone with the fastball for outs, or vice versa, utilizing the high heat for weak contact followed by a finishing breaking ball down. His curveball and slider in particular were elite, possessing arguably the biggest vertical drop on the team, forcing batters into uncomfortable swings and misses. His pitch value metrics for 2024 confirm this balance: four-seam at a robust 5, slider at 4, and curveball at 4. This was a pitcher operating with surgical precision. So, why the crash in 2025? The first and most dramatic is the erosion of his primary weapon, the fastball. Remember that 2024 four-seam value of 5? It collapsed to a staggering 7 in 2025. That is a 2-point negative swing in performance value. Furthermore, the velocity metrics were confusing. His measured average velocity appeared to increase from 9 kilometers per hour in 2024 to 2 kilometers per hour in 2025. However, this is largely artificial noise caused by the league's shift from the PTS system to the tracking system for measurement. Most pitchers saw a 23 km per hour jump due to the recalibration.
Seung-hyun's increase was marginal compared to his peers. A telling data point emerged from a game at Pohang Stadium, which still used the old PTS system. His average fastball velocity there was only 2 km per hour, lower than his 2024 season average.
The true velocity increase just wasn't there, meaning the deception and ride weren't enough to overcome his predictability. The second reason for the slump is the ill-advised addition of the cut fastball. In 2024, he rarely threw a cutter. In 2025, his cutter usage spiked to 4%, higher than his curveball and even challenging his slider usage. The problem? Like his four-seamer, the cutter was generally located high in the zone. By inserting the cutter into his high-velocity repertoire, he diluted the quality of his best pitch, the four-seam, and introduced unnecessary complexity into his high-low game plan. Furthermore, this change directly cannibalized his best out-pitch. His slider usage dramatically decreased in 2025 compared to 2024. To make matters worse, the cutter itself recorded a negative pitch value. Seung-hyun's regression in 2025 looks less like a mental breakdown and more like a tactical misstep born from trying to force a new pitch into an already successful delivery framework. The final and perhaps most critical element is endurance. Seung-hyun hit the stamina wall hard. In 2024, he pitched just 17 innings across 17 games. The 2025 season saw him breach the 100-inning mark for the first time in his professional career. He is a pitcher who had never shouldered this kind of full-time workload, even coming up through the bullpen. We saw the cracks immediately in 2024. An excellent first half, 13 games, 2 IP, 28 ERA, followed by a devastating second half, 4 games, 71 ERA. The pattern repeated in 2025, but the drop was even steeper due to the increased volume. His 2025 first half, 16 games, 1 IP, was respectable but not stellar, holding a 70 ERA. However, the second half was a complete disaster. 9 games, 0 IP, and a brutal 33 ERA. The simple truth is that his body, or perhaps his preparation, was not yet ready for the demands of a full-time professional starting rotation spot over a long campaign.
His performance consistently degrades as the season progresses, and his pitch count accumulates.
The debate naturally turns to how to fix him for 2026. Many suggest lowering his high arm slat to gain velocity. This, I believe, would be a catastrophic mistake.
That high arm slot is the core of his deceptive appeal, and crucially is what gives his slider and curveball their massive vertical break. Even as his fastball velocity failed him in 2025, the value of his breaking balls remained consistently solid.
If he drastically alters his arm angle, he may gain 23 kilometers per hour on his fastball, but he risks destroying the phenomenal drop and effectiveness of the pitches that still keep him competitive. The best path forward is maintaining that unique arm slot while focusing squarely on increasing physical capacity and stamina. This means dedicated off-season strength training and conditioning to handle the 150-inning workload.
He has the talent. He was a highly touted first-round pick with a 300 million KRW signing bonus, ranking in pedigree alongside Bae Jae-sung and Won Tae-yen. Even in a slump, he ranked 17th among domestic starting pitchers in WAR.
48 in 2025, proving he is competitive with established veterans like Moon Seung-hwan and Ha Young-min. However, 2026 is a new ballgame. With the introduction of the Asian quarter system, the competition for the 5th starter spot has exploded.
Can Seung-hyun compete consistently against seasoned imports and rising domestic stars like LG's Song Seung-gi Wells, Hanwha's Wang Wei-chung, SSG's Takeda, or NC's Shin Min-hyuk?
For the Samsung Lions to truly challenge for the championship, Seung-hyun needs to prove unequivocally that he can deliver full-time quality. His greatest goal for 2026 isn't an ERA. It is simply to prove he can consistently complete 5 or 6 effective innings deep into September. He has the raw talent. Now, he must convert the painful lessons of the 2025 workload into the stamina needed for 2026 success. The question of whether Seung-hyun can handle the physical toll of a full season is one half of the story. But the biggest unknown for the Lions lies in the bullpen. When their closers faltered, the entire defense collapsed.
Next time, we dive into the catastrophic implosion of the Samsung bullpen and whether a single veteran signing can possibly plug that gaping hole. Don't miss it.